Welcome to The Backstory. My name is Jody Newell, and today we're at a special roundtable on border security with the Governor of Arizona in Katie Hobbs. A border security roundtable discussion was held at the Casa Grande City Hall on Monday morning. Unfortunately, the meeting was closed to the media and public, so we had to sit outside the foyer and watch before Governor Hobbs held a press conference. Governor Hobbs met with local government leaders and Pinal County police chiefs that included Casa Grande Mayor Craig McFarland, Eloy Mayor Micah Powell, and Florence Vice Mayor Johnny Mendoza. State Representative Keith Seaman was in attendance, along with Pinal County Police Department chiefs that included Casa Grande Chief Mark McCrory, Florence Chief Bruce Walls, Queen Creek Chief Randy Bryce, and from the Pinal County Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Mark Lamb. After the talk fest was over, Governor Hobbs held a press conference where she announced $3.2 million in funding to be shared amongst law enforcement agencies throughout Pinal County. It was during the press conference that we asked Governor Hobbs her reasoning behind the funding. Okay, Governor Hobbs, is this funding a response to increased incidences or events, or is it increased numbers of illegal entries coming to Pinal County? What's the reasoning behind this announcement of funding today?
This is really just my administration following through on what I promised I would do and listening to our local communities, making sure that they have the resources that they needed from us, particularly in the absence of more federal support on border security.
Thank you. Another question we were able to ask Governor Hobbs was about the recently passed rental tax legislation that will see municipalities throughout Arizona unable to collect the rental tax starting in January 2025. For some of the cities, it is a major source of revenue and also a major concern to many local government leaders. Governor, I've got a question about the rental tax.
Oh, yeah.
Some councils have expressed concern about losing revenues. How are you going to address that? Because, I've spoken to the mayor here. He's expressed concerns about losing 1.5 or a possible 1.5. What are you going to do to address those concerns?
Yeah, so this was part of a compromise piece of legislation that was critical to get done. And so, it wasn't perfect. And we were able to get a delayed implementation until January 25, so it gives us time to figure out how we can hold cities harmless in terms of that lost revenue.
Thank you, ma'am. It was interesting to observe how tightly Governor Hobbs' media messaging was controlled. Contrast that to Senator Christian Sinema, who last week allowed people to sit in on her Casa Grande round table. Also, Congressman Juan Ciscomani was in town, and he spoke at the Casa Grande Union High School District's governing board meeting, where the public was welcomed. To Governor Hobbs' credit, she did avail herself for questions, and she did respond well to our questions. I guess it's a good example of a political leader's media strategy. Well, that's a wrap here from City Hall and for the backstory for this week. It was a really good roundtable session. Got to ask Governor Hobbs a couple of questions and got to chew the fat with Sheriff Mark Lamb, and also spoke to Craig McFarland. And it was an interesting roundtable. I'm disappointed that we weren't able to actually sit in on it, but that's politics for you. If you want to catch up with all the latest news that's happening in our area, just go to pinalcentral.com or subscribe to our social media platforms in Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. For The Backstory, I'm Jody Newell, and we'll see you next time.